All right, we're live, and we are going to be speaking today with Chloe, and we're going to have a fantastic chat with her. I'm super excited to bring her on and hear a little bit about her story. She's reset her metabolism. She's released 22.8 pounds, I think is the official number as of today, so we'll check with her. But just to do, if you're just joining us, kind of give a second here for people to join, but if you're just joining us here at the Metabolic Reboot, the reason why we do these live kind of chats with people who've gone through the process is we want to give them an opportunity, one, to celebrate and share their experience and inspire others, but it also helps those who are joining our program, those who just started our program, to be able to also see the same success. I mean, if someone else has done it and you know that they've done it, then you can do it too. And that's one of the beautiful things about hearing other people's stories and their whatever else they've been experiencing, is that you can look at it and go, wow, I can either learn from them, I can experience similar things, I can do it as well. So I'm just inviting a few of our other metabolic champions on here to support Chloe, and then we're going to get her on here and invite her on to share her story and her experience and what she's done to really be successful. So now, if you don't know much about the program, just to give a quick introduction before we kind of dive in, so that just in case we talk about things and you're like, what is that? So on the program, it's called the Metabolic Reboot. We reboot the metabolism, and it is a fantastic process where we don't use any packaged shakes or pills or powders or anything like that. We're just using real food to really nourish the body, and really what we're doing is we're addressing kind of the underlying why. Why do we gain weight in the first place? What causes it? How do we improve it? And the beauty is when you can address the why and you can really get things functioning and really be able to get the body healthy and thriving, the beauty is that you can reset the metabolism so it's easier to keep the weight off, but you're also learning the right ways to keep the weight off. You're learning not, to make sure that you don't gain the weight back and those types of things, and really helps set the body up for success. And along the way, you also experience, better sleep and, better skin and more energy. And so that way we know the body's actually getting healthier rather than just losing weight and not feeling as good. So we have a 6-week process that is where we call our losing phase, and that's where everybody loses the weight pretty much. And then we go into our kind of next process, which is our locking phase, or what we, the maintaining phase, which is I think where Chloe's at now. So that's where we create a new set point for your body. So again, a set point is just where your body feels comfortable maintaining the weight, and so it doesn't want to gain the weight back naturally. So with that being said, that's kind of the introduction. I see here Chloe's joined us. So let me get you on here, Chloe. I'll add you. I will add you on here and see if we can get Chloe on here. I'm super excited to agree. So if you have any questions too, post in the comments below.
Oh.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We made it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Good. How's things where you're at? You're on the East Coast, so everybody's watching. I'm on the Midwest, I guess West, I guess you'd call it. So good. Well, let's get going. I know I gave a brief introduction, and let's maybe dive into kind of your story. That's what people are going to be watching this for. So maybe tell us a little bit about kind of you, or where you were at maybe before the program, kind of anything you want to share there.
Yeah, so I guess Jared and I kind of have like similar backgrounds. I have a background in behavioral neuroscience. I was a researcher before, and then I went into sales and did consulting. And when I was consulting, I was traveling every other week, going to New York and other parts of the country, and just kind of eating my way through New York, as they say. And I mean, the food was great, but at the same time, I gained about like 30 pounds, right? I didn't fit into my clothes anymore, and I kind of didn't realize, I mean, I guess myself, I didn't realize that I was gaining weight. I just kept buying new clothes. And when I first met Jared, we're both kind of like in this own program separately, and I saw his results and I thought, like, this is skeptical. So I reached out to someone else in the program and was like, did this actually happen? And she was like, yeah, no, it actually did. Like I did that. I lost all the weight. And I was like, okay, well maybe I can do this because it's quick and it's easy. And I feel like everyone says that and then no one's believing you, but it really does work.
Yeah. And it really is quick and it's easy, right? Like that's the beauty is
Yeah.
like people hear like, oh, you lose 20 to 45 pounds in 6 weeks. Like what? That sounds like one of those like 80s infomercials, like lose all this weight this
Yeah.
fast. And you're like, I don't know about that. Okay.
Well, I think everyone said that to me. My mom said it. Um, my boyfriend was like, that's not going to happen. And I come from a science background, right? Like
Right.
I, I, I thought like I knew how these things worked.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting because so just a background for anybody watching, I thought I came from a science background and kind of understood this process as well. But then when I learned, oh, wait a second, we're just kind of looking at it differently, or maybe in the wrong way, and
Yeah.
you're not taking that typical kind of calories in, calories out. I got to kill myself in the gym type approach. And anyway, so
Hmm.
yeah, so okay, so you were skeptical before. Chloe and I are in a group together, and in a Facebook group. And so that's how we met. So you were skeptical before, reached out to somebody else and saw they had actually achieved success. And then obviously you and I
Hmm.
had a conversation and started the program. So what was it that, and maybe you've already answered a little bit, but what was it about the program or our conversation or whatever that was like the catalyst? Like, what were you like, okay, like I'm doing it. What was that for you? Or just maybe even your motivation? Like, what was it behind that motivated you to do it?
I so I guess in September I had tried keto and that's really not sustainable for me. So then I went on like South Beach, which I've done before and I've lost weight before. But then again, I've like lost it and it took a long time. And my mom actually lost about like 45 pounds on South Beach too. So whenever I gain weight, she's like, go on South Beach again. Um, so I wanted to find something that was easy and quick because I hate doing it. And I think the catalyst was like I talked to you and having a neuroscience background, I was like, how does he know like about the hypothalamus and how that works? I mean, it must be legit, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I felt like if you put your health first, like it's something I would pay for. Like I would rather pay for like a program like this than pay for going to my doctor and getting like have to pay for like diabetic medication or like my back is gonna break because like any amount of weight on your knees or your back, it's like straining your muscles, right? And your joints. Um, so like if you look at it long term, you'd actually like save money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And yeah, I always say you're going to pay for it sometime, whether it's now in choices and healthier foods or later in surgeries and
Hmm.
medications and poor health. So cool. So some of the sounds like the science behind it for you was kind of the like, yeah, this is legit. Like let's do this. We're talking about the brain and which my
Yeah.
background is in more of the behavioral, human behavior side of it more than the
Hmm.
neuroscience, but similar in that. And so okay, so you joined the program. We started. Now let's talk about. It's been you're in the maintenance or locking phase now of a couple of weeks. So it's been now, I don't know, however,
Yep.
7 or 8 weeks now. But tell us about your experience
Hmm.
through the process, kind of what you've experienced, what's been helped you be successful, things you've learned, that kind of stuff.
So, I mean, I think it's really easy because it's just like portion control, right? You weigh everything before you start eating it and you switch up your meals. That was easier for me because I work from home. But also, I feel um, like you could go out to eat and you could order it. And I've done that before where I'm like, can I have 4 ounces of meat, 4 ounces of vegetables, 4 ounces of this, right? And really easy. Um, and sometimes I like put some carrots in my bag or like an apple or something. Um, so it was really easy to do that. And I also felt very full. So it wasn't like difficult. Like I didn't feel like I was starving myself or wasn't missing out on anything. Um, it was easy. I was eating good food. I still use like all the seasonings I already use. The only things that it's kind of weird because I feel like I used to cook with a lot of olive oil, and now it kind of not, it doesn't disgust me, but now I'm like, there's a lot of like grease on this now, you know? But
Hmm.
I never thought that that was a lot, right? Um, and the same goes with like fruit and stuff. I thought I ate a lot of fruit and I thought I ate a lot of vegetables, but I didn't. You definitely eat a lot, a lot of vegetables and salads and kind of nutrient dense food, which typically, I guess you people think they're healthy, but they're not actually healthy. And I mean, now I'm on the locking phase, and I feel like I'm eating like it's too much food now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It can, especially coming.
Yeah.
So for those who maybe haven't gotten to that point yet, or who don't know, is on the locking phase, we almost not quite double, but pretty close to double the amount of food that you're eating. And even in the losing phase, a lot of times it's like, man, this is a lot of food. And then you go into the locking phase, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, this is a lot. So, and this the beauty is, it's
Hmm.
really like you said, it's about nutrient density, and it's not about the calories, because you can eat a ton of food and never gain weight if it's the right kind. But if it's the wrong
Yeah.
kind, you can eat very little and you'll gain weight. So very cool. Um, so
Hmm.
okay, so you said a couple of key things. The hunger hasn't really been there. It's really easy. Sounds
Hmm.
like straightforward. You're just measuring out your foods, and obviously working from home. You're using the same things you're already doing before. You're just kind of tweaking a little bit,
Hmm.
and obviously getting the specific types of foods and things like that. But it sounds like you've also been able to go out to eat, which is really cool. Tell
Hmm.
us about that. Like when you go out to eat, for someone who's like, how do I eat healthy when I go out to eat? What have you done to be successful there?
Well, I hate being the picky person at the dinner table. Uh, so, I first started out and I said, like, can I have 4 ounces of this, 4 ounces of vegetables, or like, what we have to
Right.
eat. And they were like,
Uh,
yeah, we can do that. Um, and I kind of like phrase like, hey, I'm on this special diet, but everyone's really easy to do it. And I mean, they're all always available. They always have something to accommodate you, especially now in this like day and age. Um, and usually there's always fruit on the kids menu. So they always bring that. And then sometimes, like I'll go to a restaurant and I'll order like a chicken sandwich, but no bun, with like sometimes they have like Brussels sprouts or something. And sometimes I don't ask for, like now, since I know what 4 ounces of meat looks like, basically, I kind of like eyeball it a little bit because sometimes they're like, I don't know what 4 ounces of meat is. I'm not going to tell the people in the kitchen that.
right.
Uh, so, or a salad. Like salads are really easy to do. You just can't have like the cheese or the croutons or any of the other stuff on there.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think those are great tips. Obviously, like go bunless, put it on greens, or
Hmm.
take the stuff off. And there's always usually some sort of chicken salad or steak salad that makes it
Yeah.
easy for sure. So okay, cool. Now I know as you've gone through the program, you've traveled as well. So tell us
Oh yeah.
about like
Yeah.
some of that. Like what were some of the things that you did there to just kind of help your
Hmm.
process in the program?
So I think the hardest parts were probably meeting for people's events. So I had to go to a birthday party, and the birthday was difficult because I not only baked a giant cake for it and didn't taste any of it, but I also, I also,
And the cake, the
I
cake
like,
was amazing too. It was like, I don't know, you're like a professional like cake maker.
yeah,
You had like this ice cream cone looking thing on top, and it was like spilling
yeah.
over. I mean, it was like really cool looking. So she didn't eat any of it, which was awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, you don't really want to eat anything because you don't want to ruin it, right? But anyway, we went there and they had like we went to dinner and they had this giant like seafood tower and they had like all of this food and they were like drinking and it was like, oh, like can't eat any of that. Um, and I had my like My sad meal was like grilled chicken and then steamed vegetables. With the steamed vegetables, it was like steamed cabbage. And everyone was like, "You want to eat this? You want to eat this?" And I was like, "No, no, like I'm good." And I mean, it was very like you really need to have like that mindset with you in order to be like, "Hey, like you have to keep going because it's worth more to like lose the weight than it is to like just eat, I don't know, like eat a piece of bread or like a dessert or something, right?" But I also traveled to Raleigh for my other friend's birthday, and they had a brew festival, um, called Broogaloo. And basically, we went there, drove down, um, stopped at some Italian place for dinner. I had a salad. Then we got there in the morning. We go to Waffle House. I have a coffee. And my boyfriend gets like stacks of pancakes and what is it? The like it's like a burger in bread. I don't know what that's
Yeah,
called, but not good for you, right?
right.
And then and then you I went to lunch. I had barbecue, which you kind of have to have when you're in North Carolina. And I had some barbecue, and obviously that has like sugar in it, right? Or vinegar, it's fine. The portions were a little bit more, but the next day I didn't gain any weight. I didn't drink anything, and I also had some chocolate too, and I was fine because I feel like also part of the mindset is like you're allowed to limit yourself and also like free yourself at different times as long as you know that you can restrict yourself back again. Um, because I think all of us kind of get into that mindset at one time or another where it's like, oh, I'm skinny. Like, it's free for all. Like, it's free for all Sunday on Super Bowl, and that's every Sunday, and every
Yeah,
Sunday or every week. And now it's not only Sunday, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I'm partying in college, but it never stops.
right.
So, uh, I think we all get there one time or another. And I feel like it's good to let yourself go there and release yourself, right? But also be able to pull yourself back.
hmm Yeah, I think that's key to be able to say, I'm in control. Not that you're like, you probably had
Mhm.
like tons and tons of chocolate or whatever. Like you didn't eat like multiple candy bars or totally like
Mhm.
binge, but it's, you have some, you indulge and you say, I'm in control. And I think that's powerful, to be able to realize that like it's worth it, right? Like you said. So you keep
Yeah.
mentioning mindset. So what were some of the things that you did for your mindset, like in these times? Because some of those times are hard for people, and it sounds like you were able to be okay. And sure, I mean they're tough, and of course it's way more fun to like
Hmm.
drink and eat desserts and all that stuff, but it doesn't really get us where we want to go. So what were some of the things that you did to help yourself through those kinds of situations?
I mean, I think I'm a little bit different than most. I know a lot of people do like affirmations or they like put a picture of what they used to look like on the fridge or, something on that that like reminds them every day. Mine was more like I got all the old stuff out of my closet, out of like the box in my closet, all the clothes that I couldn't wear anymore, and then I would try them on and see if they kept fit, right? And that was kind of the motivation for me, as well as like my support system. Like, um, my boyfriend was very helpful, even though sometimes he'd be like, "You want to buy this? You want some of this?" And then also my mom, yeah, she was helpful too. She'll she'd kill me if if I said like she wasn't helpful. But she was like, "Why don't you just do one meal a day? Why don't you just do this?" Because she has like all of that previous knowledge that's not really healthy for you. Like let's eat one meal a day, or let's like starve ourselves, or let's eat slim fasts, or
Right.
all of that. She's like, "Why don't you just do that? Like that's like cheap. You get like 20 dollars and like 6 weeks of bottles to drink." And I'm like, I can't do that. I don't want to be hungry, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but I think also the number one thing was probably losing the weight every day, putting it in our the tracker and seeing it go down, and then seeing a very large spike just like go down.
Yeah.
And you never know like that it's going to happen to you, right? Like, and uh I guess I thought it I 6 weeks ago I never thought it would happen. Um but it happened so quickly. And also we have a little Facebook group where we all kind of like talk to each other, right? And I thought that was helpful too. Like we don't even know each other. No one knows each other in like the Facebook group, but we're all like, happy loading day, happy do this, like good luck with um, the next phase, and good job for losing this weight, and that's
Yeah.
nice. I like that too.
Cool. Cool. So it sounds like for you, I mean, some people like the affirmations. For you, it's more like, this is my goal. Like I want these clothes and, like
Mhm.
I have this goal, but also having support in multiple facets, whether that's, loved ones, friends, family, spouses, boyfriends, whatever. The Facebook group is a component that we definitely build into that. So that's huge to be able to have that strong. And I really do. I think that starting with a strong why is key, right? You got to have your why, otherwise, it's
Yeah.
hard to stick to it, especially when you're out with friends at a birthday party multiple times, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, you got to have your why, right? You got to be able to stick to it. And so,
Yeah.
so I guess so some people might hear that and they go, well, yeah, but she was like totally deprived and feel like she just had to give all this stuff up. Like, do you feel like you were deprived or you gave any of that up?
Um, in terms of food, or like,
Or
I
just,
mean, I still had fun at
yeah,
the
okay.
parties, or um, but I also don't think that you need to have, like, I don't think you need to have alcohol to have fun. I don't think you have to like eat all the food to have fun. I actually feel a lot better if I don't eat a lot. Um, and I also have realized, like, if I do have like a glass of wine, or I don't know, eat some chocolate, like I don't feel good the next day. And I think we all kind of lose track of like how our body feels and like what it's saying to us, because we've just been eating the wrong things or eating too much of something forever, right? And we don't know how to listen to our own bodies anymore. So I think that's a whole thing in your program too, is that, once we've gone through the losing phase, once we've gone through the locking phase, um, your body, like, you learn how to listen to your body. You learn not only like looking visually on a plate, like what you should be eating, but also like how it feels when you put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. I think that's huge. I
So,
think we do. We've just kind of, I don't know, in the United States, we've kind of almost trashed our bodies where we're just eating who knows what. And it's hard to feel like because most of the time we feel
mhm,
all these different emotions and things within our body, but we chalk it up to hunger. So we just eat more or whatever it is, we just want food. And so we end up just eating more, and we never really listen to what we actually need or want, or why we want those things. So I think that's really powerful to dive into kind of the emotional,
mhm,
like, components of those things. So yeah, that's huge. And so it sounds like you were still able to enjoy the events and have a good time without focusing on just, I got to have the drinks, I got to have the food, I got to have the desserts. You were able to remember your why, like have your motivation, have your mindset in
mhm.
the right place, and also just enjoy the event for the event rather than the food
Yeah.
type of thing. So
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, that's kind of like society. I mean, that's getting a whole other issue, but it's like society now, right? Like we don't really, we're not in the moment anymore, right? We're like numbing ourselves with all these things that we put in our body, with like junk food or alcohol, like the toxins, and we're not really like paying attention to the people around us or paying attention to our bodies. And I don't know, it just, I feel so much better now. Um, and I'm glad that I found you and like this program, because uh, I don't know. Now I'm like summer ready and I feel good and I look good now. So,
Yeah, cool. And I appreciate that. I want to get into the fun stuff of like some of the things you've
mhm.
experienced. You're kind of talking about it now, as far as just feeling good. Tell us about like I know obviously we already, spoiled it. 22, almost 23 pounds so far, which is great. What
Mhm.
other things kind of have you experienced through the process?
Um, so like everything doesn't fit anymore. I tried on some pants the other day that I was gonna wear in the morning, and they're definitely way too big. I can't even wear them anymore. And I was like, I bought this last year. Like, I was gonna wear them. Um, and I've tried on, like bikinis and stuff, and they look better. But also, I started doing exercising, and I went into exercise like pretty fast. Usually, when you start exercise, you kind of like get the thing in your chest where it like kind of burns a little bit, um, and it didn't happen, so that was good. Uh, and so I don't know. I feel like I have like more energy than I used to, and I sleep a lot better because I mean I used to drink a lot more, like pretty much every night I had like a glass of wine. And now I sleep better. Also I don't snore. I don't think I snore anymore, which I snored before apparently.
Awesome.
So that that's a plus. Yeah.
Very cool. So, seeing physical changes as far as, clothes not fitting and getting into smaller sizes,
Hmm.
which is, those are always those fun side effects. But the really cool things I think are sleeping better, more energy, all those things. I mean, that means your body's getting healthier too. So we're losing,
Hmm.
weight, which is cool, but it's really about getting your body healthy so that you can lose that much
Yeah.
weight so fast. And obviously you feel good while doing it. That's the beauty, is because sometimes when you lose
Hmm.
weight, you don't feel good. You're like, I'm exhausted.
No.
Like I feel sickly. My
Yeah.
face looks sick. And this way you're like, I feel awesome. Like I have energy. So that's super,
Hmm.
super cool to hear, increases of health overall. I mean, that means on a cellular level, things are improving. So that's really, really cool. So,
Hmm.
and a lot of fun other side effects, obviously, with the clothes and feeling better and looking better. And those things are always super fun.
Yeah.
So very cool.
And
Congrats
then
on all those
everyone tells
things.
you you look
Yeah.
good.
Right. And then everyone's like, you look awesome. You're like, oh, thanks. And it's a fun thing for sure. So good.
Hmm.
Well, very cool. I love, those are my favorite things to hear as far as the outcomes for people, the results. And then obviously you've shared some fantastic, wisdom along the way that you've learned, have how to be really successful. And, obviously a lot of things you can take forward and you can say, I'm just going to keep doing a lot of these things that I've been doing. And obviously each of our phases, we're kind of expanding what we do, which is cool because you don't have to just eat salads every day for the rest of your life to maintain weight. You can do
Yeah.
other things, right? And that's the beauty of it. So very cool. And I appreciate you sharing that. So a couple of last things. I'll let you kind of get back to your evening. I appreciate you sharing so much with us. So a couple of things I always like to ask people before we get off our call. Number one is, if someone were joining the program or maybe even thinking about joining, but what would be kind of your like one thing of advice or one thing to like that you could say to them if they're just starting or maybe thinking about starting? What would be your like words of wisdom?
I would say uh don't try and that, like don't just think like, hey, I'm just gonna try out keto or the Atkins diet or South Beach first. First off, that $10 book is gonna be thrown away after a short while, and you're gonna still be the same weight that you were. Um, and then, so like, it, it does work. I know that people will have doubts because I did. Um, if you travel, I feel like it's probably easier to actually do this. Um, Same as if you have children or you have a busy life, you can cook in advance. So I usually cook like two types of meals, right? I'll have like my meat dish, two meat dishes, and then I'll have like two vegetable kind of dishes, and then you like rotate them, or you can add salads into that as well. Um, so like say you're working or busy all day, like it's really easy to kind of put that structure within your life anyway. Um, and I would just say like just do it. Do it now. because you have 6 weeks, and 6 weeks from now is June, and that's like bikini bod weather, going to the beach.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't wait until next year, because like everyone is always going to be like, oh, well, next year I'll get skinny because it's going to be my New Year's resolution, right? The today is the day.
Right.
Do it today.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing is there's this saying in the fitness and weight loss industry that they always say, like, summer bodies are created in winter. And that, yeah, that's true, I guess. But I always say summer bodies are created 6 weeks before summer starts. So, well, like, that's now. Like, summer bodies are created in spring on our program, because it really is. I mean, 6 weeks, we see 20 to 45 pounds. And I love that you said, like, don't, and this was, I think anybody listening probably has tried other approaches. In fact, I think the average
Yeah.
program or approach that someone's tried before my program is usually about 3 or 4, sometimes more, sometimes less. But and so I like that you say, just do it, like, get it done, because it's only 6 weeks. You're there, and then obviously we have a little bit of locking phase afterwards where it's a little bit different, but you lose all the weight in 6 weeks, and that's the beauty, is it's 6 weeks. That's like June. Well, I don't even know what the date is today. It's like the end of June, right? So like end of June, you're done.
And
So very
also,
cool.
you can cancel your gym membership, like you're saving money on that. Apply it to this, and then also, you're not spending as much money on food because you're not buying any of the awful stuff. You're not buying money on alcohol. Uh, your portions you get at a restaurant, you could at least put 2 or 3 meals out of that. You know?
Seriously.
So I mean, in the long run, you're actually saving money, and you're also teaching yourself how to eat properly. Um, and I think that's very valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I think that, in the weight loss industry, you hear what, like you'll save money by doing our program. That's like a total cliche thing. So I like never bring that up, because it's like, no,
Hmm.
how can you save money? But honestly, the average actually is about $300 to $400 a week for people when we've done the math, and like you can actually save a lot of money, which is
Yeah.
really cool. So yeah,
Hmm.
very cool.
Oh, I
Well,
calculated it. Yeah, it's definitely saved a lot of money.
yeah, cool. And you do. It's amazing how much you can save by eating the right foods. And like you said, along with that, not only you're saving money, but you're feeling better, you're getting healthy, you're losing weight,
Hmm.
and you're learning exactly what you need to do to keep it off and live a good healthy life without, like, depriving yourself and feeling like you can never go to parties or out to eat, or whatever it is. So that's
Hmm.
awesome. So, okay, so you talked about, like, different types of people just a little bit ago, but I always like to ask, if there were not maybe one person in particular, I don't want you to call someone out, but just like a group of people, a type of person what type of person do you think would benefit from this program?
I would say um, uh, there are a couple groups, right? So I would say, since I came from like traveling salesman, right? I would say that, because I know that with the stress of the job, you don't really have time to kind of think about what you're eating. And that's probably like the first thing that goes out of line, right? You want to make sales, so you don't think about that. And then also, um, people who've kind of just given up, right? They're just like, hey, like I'm just gonna be fat forever, you know. Um, I know I don't like using the word fat, but like, you know, uh, I don't think people should keep themselves in that mindset where they're gonna be fat forever, because you're not.
Yeah.
Like, you can change it today, right? And then also, I know a lot of people who have given up kind of because they've had kids, or because they're older. And I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think you can still change your lifestyle. I mean, we've seen other people like in the group lose a lot of weight, and they're older, and they're everyone's busy. So I think those types of people would benefit too.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And I love that, because we see people, we have teenagers, we also have people in their 80s, and, people who are crazy busy starting businesses like you, and, people who stay at home with their kids, and everybody does. It's pretty amazing when you get the body working, you can see benefit, and you can do it today. I love that you said that. Like, if you've failed before, it doesn't matter. If someone's watching this and they're like, is that really going to work for me? I promise you, every person who does one of these interviews says, I didn't think it was going to work for me. Just scroll through and watch them all. Like, everyone says, is that really going to work?
Message me and I'll tell you. I'll show you my scale. My scale has this like thing where it goes like all the way down.
Yeah, you see it.
I even took a picture of the scale. Yeah. And the pictures, like I have pictures. So it's I don't know. I definitely did not think it was going to work, and I thought the science wasn't going to work, and then I was like, I'm going to try it just to see if it works. And then
I'm going to prove him wrong. Yeah. Well, good. Well, and that's the beauty. I mean, like I always say, like, we literally have 100% success rate. Everybody loses weight and everybody gets healthier. How much is going to vary a little bit. Like, you know, you're not going to lose as much as some of the guys on the program who have more weight than you to lose, obviously, right? So there's a range there, but everybody sees progress. That's what I love about it. So I love that you said, just do it now, because it's like 6 weeks. You've lost the weight and you've learned so many valuable things, and you're continuing to learn, obviously. And anyway, so very cool. Any last, like, I mean, you shared so much, so I always like to say, any last words of wisdom, any last thoughts or things that you'd share?
I don't think I'm ever going to do keto or South Beach or any of that again. I mean, I guess it would be called something like that if I can, you know, I still continue it, but like, I definitely think this is easy, and you don't even have to think about it, and it's sustainable, and I just think it's easy, and like, why not just do it?
Yeah. Cool. Well, I love that. I think it's easy too. And that's why, like, I've been doing it for 6 years. Now, I'm not doing the losing phase constantly, because once you get to a certain point, you don't need it, but the principles are super easy. So I love that. It is. It's simple. It's easy to do. So very cool. Well, good. Well, Chloë, thank you for sharing your wisdom, sharing your story, being willing to inspire others. So you've shared some great wisdom here with us that I think anybody, even if you're not doing the program, could benefit from, as far as how to like make it work when you're traveling or when you're with friends or you're busy. And so super, super awesome. Super excited about your progress that you've had and the progress to come, because obviously we still have some time working together. So super excited about that. And again, appreciate you being on here on the live with us tonight. So thanks for sharing your story. It's okay. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'm sure Chloë or I will be able to answer either one. But Chloë, again, thank you. And then I'm sure we'll be touching base here shortly. So, okay, we'll see you later, Chloë. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Take